Most hosts think their bookings are down because of the algorithm, the market, the season, some force outside their control. So they do what feels logical, right? They lower their price, rewrite their description, swap a photo, and then they wait.
Here's what they miss. Right now, inside the settings panel of your own Airbnb account, there are switches. They're working against you. Some you've never turned on. Some you turned on years ago and you forgot about them. Every one of them is shaping whether a guest ever sees your property or bounces the second they click on it.
And here's the thing that most hosts get wrong about all of it. The host who books the most isn't the one with the most gatekeeping, the most rules, the most control. It's the one who made it easiest for the guest to say yes. Every setting in your account is either adding friction or removing it. There is no neutral.
So between our portfolio of 100 plus properties and the hosts that we personally coach inside Strategic Hosts, these are the very first things that we check when a host comes to us wondering why their bookings are down.
Right. We're walking through 3 settings you should turn off today and 5 you should turn on immediately.
By the end of this, if even half of these were wrong in your account, you'll know exactly what to change and why. So let's get into it.
If you have a required message set up that guests must send before they can book, I want you to turn it off. You heard me right. You're adding a hoop between a guest and a reservation, and every extra step is an opportunity for that guest to close the tab and book the property next to yours.
Remember what we said at the top of this video. The host who books the most isn't the one with the most gatekeeping. Requiring a booking messages are gatekeeping. And that's what you're doing in practice. If a guest wants to ask a question before booking, they can, they will, but do not require it. Let the yes be easy. I've just booked like 5 short-term rentals in the past month, all of them on Airbnb, and I'm telling you, I skipped over anybody that asked for a required message, okay? There were too many options in all of the areas I went to, and I wanted a booking, I wanted to get my reservation quick, and if it requires a message, it is slowing me down. It's also slowing you down because money loves speed.
Money does love speed, and I feel like you're already so busy with everything else in your life. Just think about the time it takes to sit down and find the property that you like, then to message the host and wait for them to respond. Like, that is kind of torture. And then what if they respond and say, no? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Last but not least there, when is the last time you had to send a message to a hotel before they would allow you to book a reservation?
Right. But I'm telling you, hosts, and you guys, we love you. Obviously, we're here to serve you, right? Day in and day out. But hosts just, they can't get it through. They think if they don't have the message that there's going to be some sort of quote unquote bad guest on the other side of it. And that is just so few and far in between. We can say that to you after over a decade of hosting and not having these messages, these required messages between the guest and staying with us, that it is such a small, tiny, itty bitty percentage that it's just not worth all the money that you're leaving on the table.
Turn off extra person fees. A lot of hosts fall into this trap because maybe their cleaner charges more when additional bedrooms are used. So the host passes that cost, on to the guest as a per person fee. We want to push back on that logic.
Yeah. When you add an extra person fee, you're showing up in search at one price and delivering a different number at checkout. The guest who found you at a competitive rate builds out their stay in their mind, right? To their whole crew, gets the total, and then they bounce because they feel bait and switched, right? Because you're no longer in line with the other properties at your bedroom count who aren't charging that fee. Okay, the question to ask yourself is this. With your extra person fees applied, is your property still priced competitively against other listings of the same bedroom count in your market? And I know so many of you, because I've been there, you want to do that, but your cleaner has told you, hey, if all the bedrooms are used, it's this amount. If only this many bedrooms are used, I could charge you less. And honestly, getting into that kind of relationship with a cleaner is going to be a waste of your time. It's a ridiculous amount of dumb admin work to decide how many guests stayed, how many bedrooms were used. It's like, just if that is your argument, or if that's what you're up against, find a cleaner who will just clean the entire home for the same amount each time. Maybe there's a different price if there was an animal in the home, a pet. I can understand that. But other than that, just have one rate for the home so that you can forecast and make financial planning decisions like the extra fee per person and not sabotage your listing.
We base price on what the home can command in the market, not based on what the cleaner charges per bedroom. Turn off Airbnb smart pricing today. Honestly,
yesterday. Go back in time and turn it off.
Okay.
Here's the lens that changes how you should see this, okay? And if you take nothing else from this video, or if you're listening on the podcast, right, I want you to take this. Airbnb's stated goal is getting the guests the best property at the lowest price. That's their goal. It might not be your goal, but that's their goal. And if you're on their platform, you're going to play by their rules. So when you turn on smart pricing, you are asking the platform that directly benefits from the lower rates to set your rates for you. That is not a good pricing tool. And that is a conflict of interest that you opted into voluntarily.
I actually even love the way they market it as smart pricing.
I know, they're so good at marketing.
So good. Most hosts who use smart pricing fall into one of two traps. There's group one. They think they can manage pricing manually, so they set up a nightly rate and they leave it untouched for months. And then there's group two. They turn on smart pricing, watch their calendar fill up, and read the full calendar as a win, with no concept of the revenue they left on the table getting there to that full calendar. Both groups think they're running a pricing strategy. Neither one is.
It's also such a brilliant marketing, I don't want to say ploy, because again, we're not against Airbnb in any way, shape, or form. But it's such a smart marketing move on Airbnb's part to really give you every tool that you need to run your home as a short-term rental so that you feel you don't need to go to Vrbo or Booking or any other OTA out there, especially your own direct, because you can't use smart pricing on any other platform, right? And so you're like, well, I'm not going to have a separate pricing strategy for these other OTAs because that is a lot of work. But you guys, it's keeping you on this platform that it's putting all of your eggs in one basket, and it's a dangerous place to be. A third-party dynamic pricing tool is built for a different job. It's designed to maximize what you are making. It accounts for your market, your lead time, your demand windows, and your comp set. It prices your property to capture the right guest at the right rate at the right time, which, by the way, is exactly what the Airbnb algorithm is trying to do when your pricing is calibrated correctly.
So your pricing, your revenue belong in your hands, your bank account, not Airbnb's.
That's the setting audit we run with every new strategic host client of ours, plus a pricing audit, plus listing health, plus the rest of your funnel. If you want that done on your properties and your business, the link in the description to apply to Strategic Host, our coaching program, so that you can see if we're a fit.
The first thing to turn on is professional host tools. This is where your Airbnb analytics dashboard lives, and it's how you can measure the health of your listing. Before you start just randomly changing things when your bookings drop, you need to know where in the funnel you're actually losing the guest, because the fix depends entirely on the diagnosis.
Are your guests not finding you? Your impression rate will show that. Are they finding you, but then they're not clicking on you? That's a hero image problem. Are they clicking, but then not booking? That's a conversion problem in your listing or your pricing. You can't be strategic about fixes if you don't know which one of those is broken. Turn on your professional hosting tools in Airbnb and check it before you touch anything else. Next, I want you to turn on Instant Book. I know. We'll help you through it. It's okay. We allow Instant Book for all guests, and we mean all guests. It is not a filtered subset for us.
The number one reason hosts refuse to do this is fear. Fear of bad guests. They want to manually approve every reservation and vet who is coming through the door. And we understand that instinct, and we're going to push back on it directly. When I first started hosting back in 2016, I will admit, I did not have Instant Book turned on. But I attended the Airbnb Open in LA. I went to learn more. I invested. I wanted to be, this was a new business to me. I was taking it very seriously. I wanted to be around the best. When I say every host that I met there was in complete shock when I told them that I did not have Instant Book turned on, I felt amateur. And out of that, whole entire experience, that is the conversation that not only stuck with me, it is the one that made me the most money because I opened up to the most potential clients, AKA guests. I mean, every single host I interacted with had it on, and that was in 2016. Those were hosts, again, that were at the top of their game, okay? The platform has been telling hosts this for years, and most still don't have it turned on.
When a host tells us they had a terrible experience with a guest, we ask them to do the math. How many total guests have you hosted? How many were genuinely bad experiences? In almost every case, the percentage is so small. But that one bad experience carries so much weight that it's driving a decision that costs them bookings every single month moving forward because of that fear. Or they tell that story to another host and that host hangs on to that and they have that fear. I really want you to take this advice of doing the math because that's going to help save your mental health as well. Here's the other thing that manual approval does, and most hosts don't realize it. You start making up stories about the guests you haven't even met yet. Okay, you start profiling. You look at the name, a profile photo, a message, and you start filling in a narrative that isn't there. Instant Book removes that entirely. You set your house rules, your guests agree to them, and they book. And I'll tell you this, everyone, I don't care if the guest instant books or books for 2 weeks. I've heard horror stories from every single origin. They booked an Airbnb. They booked on Vrbo. They booked direct. They stayed for 2 weeks. They stayed for one night.
Or they were a referral from friends and family.
I know you're living in this vacuum and it's costing you money.
And if a guest instant books and it becomes clear they don't match your house rules, say they want to bring a pet to a no-pet property, Airbnb will assist you in canceling within 24 hours of the booking. Penalty-free, and you are protected because it was stated in the house rules.
And there's a ranking side to this too. Airbnb has publicly confirmed that Instant Book gets a boost in search ranking, which means you're not just making it easier for guests to book, you're making it more likely they ever see you in the first place. It's a step in our funnel audit with every one-on-one client. If it's off, we have them turn it on. Booking velocity improves every time.
Airbnb gives hosts the option to reduce their cleaning fee for shorter stays. Turn this on. Even if it's just a small reduction, let's say $5. It's not really about that $5. It is a signal to Airbnb that you are an engaged host using the tools the platform built. Hosts who use it get rewarded for it in search.
It also makes your listing more competitive for 1 and 2 night bookings. I'm gonna say do the like $5 reduction, have it not, or actually use it, right? Because that fills your calendar gaps with the shorter stays that would otherwise sit empty. An empty night generates 0 revenue. A discounted cleaning fee on a short stay still generates revenue.
Next, turn on automatic reviews for great guests and just put that on autopilot. The only reason to turn it off is if you need to manually write a review for a guest who wasn't so great. For everyone else, the automatic review does exactly what you do yourself, and it does it on time, every time, without you having to remember.
This does 2 things. It makes you look like an active, engaged host to the platform. You don't just look like it, you are, which matters for your ranking, and it helps the host community. When a guest is genuinely wonderful, other hosts deserve to know that. Your review is what tells them that this person is someone they should welcome into their home, and honestly, that ping to the guest that they got reviewed will remind them, especially if it's positive, to, oh, I never left a review for that host, and I should probably do that. Now I want you to go through your amenity list and check every box that applies to your property.
Every single one.
Every one. And then go through the safety section and do the same. Smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, first aid kit, fire extinguisher.
When a safety item is unchecked on your listing, Airbnb flags it visibly to that guest. They're alerting that potential guest, as they should, that your property may be missing a basic safety feature. This is absolutely a deterrent. Guests are choosing between 2 otherwise comparable properties will always pick the one where every safety box is checked. Don't give them a reason to pick the other one. Your settings are not set it and forget it. They are the infrastructure of your business. the rails that your listing runs on. And right now, somewhere in your account, there is a setting adding friction, handing control to Airbnb, or signaling to the platform that you're not an active, reliable host.
And here's the pattern across all 8 of these. Every one of them is either adding friction or removing it. Every one of them is either handing Airbnb a signal you're a reliable host or a signal that you are not. There's nothing neutral in your settings panel, okay? I want you to treat it like that.
Open your settings today. This is one of the fastest audits you can do on your business and one of the highest return ones. TFE pro tip for you. On your Google Calendar, please set a reoccurring task for you to review your settings. We have this on our calendar because the settings change. Amenities are added, amenities are deleted. We want to make sure that you're not leaving money on the table by setting and forgetting the settings.
Yeah, inside Strategic Host 2, we help hosts get more nights booked, charge what their property is actually worth according to the market, not your gut, and we help them to stop leaving money on the table.
So what if you've opened your settings while you're watching the video and you realize half of your settings are wrong? That's a conversation we need to have with you. So the link is in the description to apply for Strategic Hosts. We'll look at your business and see if it is a fit.
With that, I am Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.